The 7.4 update belongs to the type of updates which remain in the memory of players forever. This update brings great changes to the game. It changes game balance and adds the new vehicles. The developers added the new game modes in this update. It will definitely change the gameplay and bring a new feeling to the game for players. We will tell you about all the new features of the new update in this video. The new game modes. We have been talking about the new game modes, which are called Assault and Encounter, for quite some time. The developers shared some of their ideas with the public in different places. The experienced players gave some advice about the features of the new game modes. At last, the new game modes are released and everybody can test them by simply pressing the battle button. Now you have the chance to not only join the usual battle, but also join the assault or encounter with the enemies for the one base. One of the main features of these game modes is the relocation of points of interest. The developers changed the location of spawns and bases to mix things up. Even the well-known maps will challenge players strategically. Due to these changes, there are a lot of new points where players can face enemy vehicles. Assault is the game mode in which one of the teams is defending the base while the other team is attacking it. You can earn a victory by destroying all the enemy vehicles. However, the defending team can earn the victory if the time limit is up, while the attacking team can earn it by capturing the base. The defenders usually have the territorial advantage because their base is located on a hill or behind some kind of cover. You can see this advantage at the maps, like Karelia, Malinovka, or Prokhorovka. So the defending team should place their vehicles at the main spots and control the moves of the enemies, while the artillery should support them. The attacking team should wait for the right moment and attack through one of the flanks. But there are some maps where the defending team has very few spots to defend their base. You can see it at the Siegfried Lane. The defender's spawn is at the city and the artillery is located at the 9 line. In this case, the defenders should change their position using the covering fire of the self-propelled guns. Otherwise, any light tank can scout the artillery shortly into the match. The game became much more interesting because players understand their task now, and they use attacking or defensive tactics, so it becomes easier to command people and help each other. Of course, there will be some chaos in this new mode initially. It will take some time to learn the new tactics required to conquer Assault. By the way, the time limit is only 10 minutes in this game mode, so if the attacking team decides to wait for a while, they will definitely lose. Encounter is a game mode which only one base is located on the map. Both teams must conquer the base or destroy all enemy tanks to earn the victory. In comparison with Assault, this game mode is more chaotic and unpredictable. You'll never know the plans of the opposite team. They can decide to capture the base with their main forces, or they might decide to destroy your artillery with their light tanks, or they may just decide to make a trap at your flank in order to destroy all your vehicles at long range. The new tactics, the unpredictable decisions, and a wide open space for the creative are the main features of this game mode. The developers feel that this game mode is really good for esports or company battles. You can see the full potential of Encounter if one man commands everyone on the battlefield, because this game mode has more strategic and tactical potential than standard battle. We are looking forward to the first tournaments with this game mode to prove that this statement is true. The TDs and SPGs. The next important change in this update is adding 2 branches of French vehicles. These are French tank destroyers and self-propelled guns. Both branches are really exotic and interesting. Self-propelled guns give the players an opportunity to enjoy the gameplay of fast and accurate artillery with a high rate of fire. We can enjoy the same gameplay as the Hummel or as the GW Panther, but the accuracy and the velocity are balanced with some cons. In fact, the French self-propelled guns have accuracy, velocity, and a high rate of fire combined, but it was balanced with the low power of the gun. It will always be weaker than the weapon of other SPGs. That's why you should have some experience and skill to use these vehicles effectively. You shouldn't hope that the enemy's tanks will die due to your shrapnel. In fact, you should aim well before you start firing. Of course, you mustn't forget to change your position because French self-propelled guns are the most valuable targets for enemies. However, at the end of this branch, you will meet a beautiful vehicle, the Batchat 155. It has a turret and automatic loader with 4 shells. This is the first Tier 9 self-propelled gun, which you can use as a medium tank or light tank due to its high rate of fire and excellent accuracy. The Batchat 155 is not artillery in the common sense. This is the universal self-propelled gun, which you can use in any situation with high efficiency. The main difference between the Batchat 155 and the SPGs of the other nations is the survivability. If they face a medium tank or heavy tank, they will shoot only once, and then they are dead. A Batchat 155 can destroy enemy vehicles alone. But if you don't like the risk, you can play this tank in the common self-propelled gun style. But you should not forget that you have the automatic loader, and you can move from one flank to another really fast. Tank destroyers are also very interesting and unusual vehicles. They have the common feature of the French tanks: high velocity, good rate of fire, and excellent accuracy. The Tier 7 tank destroyers even have good armor. The top-tier tank destroyer is quite fast, with good maneuverability and amazing accuracy. This tank is really dangerous because Tier 10 heavy tanks can't penetrate the 180 millimeters of its front armor. And the maneuverability prevents any flank maneuvers of medium tanks against this vehicle. Despite the fact of low detection chances of this tank, you can easily support heavy tanks in their assault, or join the rush with fast medium tanks, or even join the flank maneuvers against slower tank destroyers. Every vehicle in this branch is very fun and has similar dynamics to other French tanks. But all the pros of the French TDs are balanced with some cons. In comparison with the front armor, the armor of the rest of the hull is quite poor. So artillery can easily penetrate the vehicle and deal full damage or even one-shot it. You should always keep that in mind when you fight on the big and open maps. New maps. The last, but nevertheless big addition is 2 new maps, which are called Wide Park and Airfield. Wide Park is the first city map in a long period of time. There is a beautiful lake and space for the light tanks and medium tanks in the middle of the map. There are a lot of buildings and hills in the corners of the map. This time, developers added a lot of new objects to the map, like a bridge with many tunnels or embrasure, with several levels or unusual systems of buildings. You can see that the buildings on the map, like Himmelsdorf, Ingst, or Live Oaks, are located in the form of a square. But on Wide Park, the buildings are located chaotically and unpredictably. That's why players might create new tactics or unusual maneuvers. To sum it up, players who are keen on the fast and dynamic battles or sly and dangerous maneuvers will definitely like this map. Airfield is a map of another kind. It is a mixture of maps like steppes and mines. We have a lot of open space with a lot of hills located all about. Despite the fact that this map is open, there are a lot of spots where the enemy's self-propelled guns can't reach you, and you can organize attacking or scouting operations from one spot to another, so you will force the enemy to retreat to their base. So we have the entire labyrinth where you can easily move and fire or hide from the enemy's fire if you need it. Other changes. There are also a lot of less global but very important changes in this update. Let's have a bit of a closer look at them. 1. The developers removed Swamp and Comorin from the list of maps in the random battles. This was done due to a lot of requests from players to delete these maps due to the poor gameplay and balance. Developers said that they are planning to remake these maps in order to remove the imbalance of a defending team. 2. There are also some new achievements. For example, the most famous is the Sinai Lion. The players can earn these achievements for destroying the Soviet IS tanks. As you can remember, there is a similar achievement in the game and it's called Hunter. Players can earn it for destroying German vehicles. So there was an achievement for the hunters of German vehicles, but there were no achievements for the hunters of Soviet tanks. There are also 2 new premium Tier 8 vehicles. These are the heavy tank IS-6 and the tank destroyer Jagd Tiger 88mm. The IS-6 has no unusual features, and the characteristics of this tank are quite common. But players can easily farm some money using this vehicle. Some players complain about the low power of the Tier 8 weapon, but players who love the fast and dynamic battles will definitely enjoy this tank. If you aim for the enemy's weak spots, you can deal about 390 damage. This is even more than the low or KV-5 can deal, and the angle of its armor allows players to have bounces if positioned well. The Jagd Tiger 88mm offers players unusual and very interesting gameplay. This vehicle is equipped with the weapon of the first Tiger and the armor of the Tier 9 Jagd Tiger, so this vehicle is an effective assault self-propelled gun with strong armor. The premium Jagd Tiger has an amazing rate of fire, which is about 11 rounds per minute, and the accuracy is really fabulous. The rate of accuracy is one of the best in the game. To sum it up, you can easily penetrate even Tier 10 tanks. You can easily deal incredibly high damage in 10 seconds. And of course, you can easily destroy the enemy's tracks. 4. Developers changed the operation of the large repair kit and the large first aid kit. The first of these consumables gives the constant bonus of plus 10% to repair speed, while the second one gives the bonus of plus 5% to avoid the critical damage to crew. All these bonuses work until the end of the battle. 5. There are also some nerfs and buffs in this update. The characteristics of the Tier 9 T-30 were nerfed hard. The developers nerfed the rate of fire of all weapons of this tank. The vertical stabilizer of this tank was nerfed hard as well, so you will not be able to shoot while you are driving this vehicle. There is no global nerf of the Tier 10 T-110 in this update. Developers nerfed the terrain resistance and the rate of fire of the T-110 and the M103 a bit. A lot of fans of the Soviet tanks asked developers to buff the KV-4, and the developers did it. The characteristics of the KV-4 were buffed. The developers even increased its armor. The side armor received 20mm of additional armor, and the small turret received 40mm of additional armor. The stabilizer was buffed as well. The gun elevating is really fascinating now. This tank is not the tin at the tracks like players said before. Well, that's all for now. The 7.4 update is on the servers for quite a long time, and we are looking forward to the 7.5 update. The developers will add Tier 10 medium tanks as well as tank destroyers, so you'd better start farming the experience on your Tier 9 tanks. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.